Some folks know this, some folks don't. That before I was Secretary of State, I worked in the Secretary of State's office. The summer of my senior year at Western University, I'd been the Mountaineer mascot for about 6 months, and worked and ran Ken Heckler's Youth in State Government program, and had the opportunity to work with high school kids and show them about state government. Now, my major was journalism. I was going to be a television reporter. I was going to be a foreign correspondent who went all over the world. But I covered West Virginia politics. And I felt as though I could stand up for the people who were voiceless and tell their stories and tell the stories of West Virginia. But I still had that knowledge and I still had that experience of working in the Secretary of State's office that I ran for Secretary of State in 2004. And guess what happened? I lost. So I came back and ran again in 2008. And you know what I found? Found out about the people of West Virginia? That they like losers. You know what I found? Found out about the people of West Virginia? That they like losers. Yeah, they like losers. It's not about being a loser, though, is it? It's not about losing by 1,108 votes. It's not about losing by 1,108 votes. It's about getting back at it and still wanting to be that leader. And I would venture to say that you probably know more than so many adults in the state of West Virginia. And there are so many people across the country who have become disenchanted with our government, who feel as though, what good is there for it? Or they don't understand it, or they don't think they can become involved. And before I leave you, I'm going to tell you a little story. I want to tell you a story about a woman that I met. It was not long after I became Secretary of State. I won in 2008, got sworn in 2009, and it seemed like it was a day like this. And I come barreling out of the Capitol, and I love this state capitol. And I saw this mother and her child sitting on the bench. They were looking up, they were talking with each other, and they were whispering back and forth. I knew what they were doing. I knew what they were doing. So I kind of imposed myself, but I walked right up to them, and I got in her face, and I said, "It's awesome, isn't it? It's the most beautiful state capital in the country." But I got in her face, and I said, "It's awesome, isn't it? It's the most beautiful state capital in the country." And she got kind of startled, and then she agreed, yeah. And I said, "Well, have you gone inside? Have you gone inside and seen the rotunda? Have you seen the pictures of the governors all along the walls?" And this woman, sitting on this bench, looks up at me, and she says, "I didn't know we were allowed to go in." Now, to me, that is devastating. Because I'm like you. I'm one of those leaders who wants to include folks in what we do. And as I look around this room and I see folks that I recognize, whether it's Michael, whether it's Riley, how many times have you guys been to the Capitol? Many, many times. But here is this woman who's doing all the right things, bringing her child to our state capitol to teach her child about their government, about their West Virginia. She's 20 feet away from the door and she thinks that she can't go in. Now that's why we're here. That's why you're here at a young age. That's why I'm here. That's what our job is to do, is to not just teach ourselves, give ourselves an opportunity here, it's to give others opportunities too. And I use that in the Secretary of State's office, because it's not easy to get here to the Capitol every day or every week, is it? And so we have to make sure that our government is open and engaging. You can call it open and engaging, as I call it. You can call it transparent and accountable. But transparent isn't just about putting something up on a website and letting people see. Transparent is about letting people feel like they understand government. Because think about this. Why are we intimidated about things? People are intimidated about their government, right? Because we're intimidated if we don't know. And so that's why I have used technology. The cell phone, the internet, websites to do webcasts that allows people to look into state government and feel as though they're a part of it and understand it, so then they'll become involved. Because what happens when people are involved? They give us great ideas, right? That's why you guys are here. Senator Prozioso gave all the examples of what happens when young people get involved. So that's the importance of being a leader, in bringing others in. Now, I love this thing, I love technology, but I also want to give you some other little advice, because I love social media too. It's a way we can be connected. How many of you have Facebook? I love technology, but I also want to give you some other little advice, because I love social media too. It's a way we can be connected. How many of you have Facebook? How many of you have Twitter? Instagram? Yeah. As a matter of fact, somebody's just tweeting me right now. They just retweeted me on Twitter. That's a good thing, right? But here's the other thing. Don't feel as though you can say something on Twitter and not be held accountable for it. Because what does YLA teach you? It teaches you responsible leadership. That there are some folks, I'm hopeful these are good retweets. I haven't looked at it yet, but I've had people tweet such negative things about the office, about me. I'm hopeful these are good retweets. I haven't looked at it yet, but I've had people tweet such negative things about the office, about me. Things that I don't think that they would ever say in front of me, or in front of their respected peers, or in front of a respected chamber. So that comes with responsibility. Just don't repeat what somebody is saying. Understand it and be responsible for it, because that's the kind of leadership that we need from you now and going forward. Because your peers look at you as knowledgeable leaders in their schools and in their communities. So that's a big burden on you here this weekend, but I know that you can accomplish it. I know that you can tackle that challenge of being responsible leaders, being responsible with what you say, with what you write on social media, and with your actions as well.
No one stands up.